Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Behind the Mic in our beautiful MusicTown studios located on the second floor of Hockeytown, downtown Detroit. I'm Pam Rossi, and each week I do this. Love to bring in artists to chat, hear some good music. We have a special guest this week as well. Welcome to Athens Creek. Hi, guys.
Hello.
We have Taylor Herring
Yes.
and Nate Jones.
Yes, ma'am.
Welcome to our studios. Thank you for coming in. Appreciate
Glad
it.
to be here.
Having
Thank you.
us.
Nate, I've had you on my shows before, so
Yes.
kind of jumping around, doing different things. But but today we're talking about Athens Creek and the two of you. So you guys have been together how long now?
I think this summer, was it 5 years?
Yeah, this will be
summer?
5 years.
Yeah.
It's like April, May, something like that.
Okay, good time. And didn't you start out as a trio though?
We did.
Okay.
Yeah, and when that was like 2 years ago, I think Oscar Sosa, who was another guitarist in the band, he left to just kind of work on other projects and kind of give it more to us and kind of spearhead Athens Creek. So we're still in good relationships with him, and he actually, we have him scheduled to play a couple gigs with us this year.
We have a few projects with him this year, so
Okay.
excited to have him back.
But now we're a duo, and we kind of just bring people in as we need them and as the shows require.
Yeah. When you do your you're out performing or you're making the music for recording, do you stick with just the two of you, or do you like to bring in the other people?
Well, when we're recording, there's some songs where it's just the two of us. So he'll be on the guitar, I'll throw in some piano, and then the vocals. But then there's other songs when we're recording that we'll bring in electric guitarist or a drummer or a bass player, anything to just give it an extra flair.
Like outsourcing when we know we can't keep up to it. It's like I'm not a lead guitar player, I'm not a bass player. We can throw in some of those things, but
just things to fulfill the final vision of
leave
the project.
it to the people that are better at it.
Yeah. But technically you are a duo.
Yes.
Okay. And if you've got the piano, you've got the guitar, enough to complement the vocals. So
Yeah, it's
if
enough
that
to
works.
fill it up, definitely.
Yeah. Now, do you consider yourself just an acoustic duo? Is that how you would be labeled, if you even
We've
need to
been
label?
calling it Americana,
Okay.
just because we were searching for a genre, because everybody tells you have to pick a genre, and we were like, okay, well, we're not really country, we're not really rock, we're not really folk. So and then we come across Americana, which is really just a blend of all those American traditions.
Yeah.
And it seemed to fit us a lot better. So now we're an Americana duo.
Yeah. Okay, that works, right?
Yeah, it does. It's like, oh, this is everything? Sure, here we go.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah.
We are a little bit of everything, which is, unfortunate. A lot of times, bands, because of the record labels, which not so much today, but,
Right.
In record stores, which, have most of them gone by the wayside, but it's like, well, where do we put you?
Right.
They've got to have a slot for you, so you have to be labeled, and which is a shame because, it just puts you in a box, I think.
Yeah.
Just because they need to know where to promote you and how to promote you, and
Right.
unfortunately, but when you don't have a label and you don't really have a record store, it's all done so much digitally now that
Right.
it doesn't really matter. And you can put the keywords of all those things,
Right.
and someone will still find you. So
Yeah.
Yep.
And we by project now we kind of put those into their own genres as well. If we release a single that has a more easy listening feel to it, it's easier to throw easy listening onto it, and that way it finds the right playlists or
Right.
finds that stuff.
I would imagine that's got to be really, it's kind of a science of how to tag each one and make sure you can get pulled up because they say, well, if you like this song, then maybe you'll like this
Right.
song, and you got to make sure that, that your song will pop up. So
Yeah, you do all the possible tags
Yeah.
you could think of.
As
I mean,
many
you could have
keywords as
100
they let
tags.
you use, 1,000 keywords, go for it.
that could get, oh my gosh, yeah.
I don't know about 1,000 keywords. I don't think I'd want to, but
That's a full-time job, someone just to
Yes.
do that. Well, even social media is pretty much a full-time job for musicians.
it is.
Yes.
Who handles that?
We both kind of mutually handle the social media. I don't know, we create our posters for gigs and things that we have, and then we can just kind of time them out, and then we'll be like, hey, Nate, you do this. Taylor, you do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I usually handle a lot of the messages and the commenting and that stuff, and Taylor handles a lot of the creating of the posts, and so we kind of have to divvy it up. Otherwise, you might not get say the right thing at the right time.
Yeah.
But it's nice that we have each other to do it, so it's not all on one person
Yes.
to do all of the tasks that you have to do with social media.
Well, two heads better than one. You
Yes.
might see something. Oh, we need to put this in there, or maybe this keyword. Again.
Or go in and edit the post afterwards. Like,
Yeah.
let's change this one word.
Oh,
We both have done that before.
Maybe that was a better way to say that.
yeah. As long as you don't have to do that with your music.
Yeah.
Constantly go back and edit. You don't want to do that.
Right.
Yeah, we've been on the same page a lot. We're starting to write together a lot. I was doing a lot of the writing up until this point, and I really wanted to bring Taylor in on it because I always felt weird talking about songs and then being like, oh, this is how Athens Creek feels. But then it was like, wait a minute, I don't know if Taylor feels this way, So now we're working together on writing music, and it's been really fun to create, like co-create.
What's kind of the process? I mean, one of you will have an idea and then bring it to the table? What's the process
Well,
of
that's
bringing
actually the last song that we just have been messing around with. That's exactly what happened. I had a idea just for a conversation that was happening actually with my husband, and then it was like, hey, Nate, I have an idea for a song. I think it should be about this.
And so that was on, I don't know, that was last week on like Monday or Tuesday. And then on Friday, I went to take a nap, and I couldn't take a nap because I was just like racing this like concept in my head. So I got up on Friday and just wrote, the majority of the song. And now we've got to take that song and make sure that it's, everything's said right and the sounds are right and the piano fits and but
so now it's just
cool.
the intricate details of it.
But that was only one song. Before that, like it's kind of been based on whatever, like if one of us writes down an idea or gets the song mostly done, or either way, there's not really one process that we're using.
And when you sit down, it's well, you're a duo. You have to work with each other. I would imagine that there's like, well, would this sound, or that doesn't sound right. I mean, you feel confident enough with each other that you can say this doesn't feel right and all of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have.
She lets me know often.
Well, you have to have that, especially it's just two of you. That, and that's the whole point as a duo.
Right.
You're making music together, so you got to work it out together.
And it's easier than working with a full band too. Like, I mean, there's still only two ideas that are being tossed at each other, instead of five, and everybody having a different concept of what was needed. So.
Oh, that would get crazy when you have a full band. It's like everybody has a different idea.
If they all have their hand in the pot, definitely. It's like, maybe you shouldn't do this.
Yeah, I can imagine those sessions are, more intense and longer,
Yeah.
Because everybody's trying to work around each other too, like it's hard for people to be honest with each other, so working around each other is definitely a thing that makes that process go much longer,
Yeah. Unless you're, like the Rolling Stones or something, then.
Yeah, and then you can just sing whatever you want, or someone else's song. Sorry, Rolling
this
Stones.
is how we're doing it. No, I don't know how they do it. All right, how about we hear a song?
Cool.
Yeah, so we're gonna start with this song called "Don't Hold Back."
Okay.
And Nate he wrote this one a few years ago, and he proposed it as, hey, I was writing in character, and I came up with this song, and he played it. He goes, let me know what you think. And I was like, at the end, I was like, so who is your inspiration for this song? Because at the time, I was going through a lot. I did like a competition, and it kind of just put me on like an emotional roller coaster. So his character writing was actually about me at the time.
Interesting.
Yes.
You didn't realize it, or you?
Well, I realized it after he had played the song, and I was like, okay, I see where this is going.
It was fun too, because obviously I'm a man. I have mostly masculine like concepts. So to put myself in the shoes of Taylor and write from like a more feminine perspective, it was really cool for me to be able to like kind of get outside of that and write there. But this song's really adapted, more to, it's called "Don't Hold Back," and it's kind of more about us in this career, and where sometimes you want to give up, sometimes you don't want. Sometimes well, where are the fans? Where's the family? Where's the music even? For us sometimes, and really just pushing through those walls and getting out. And this song has been kind of our that breakthrough. That breakthrough of keep going on.
Okay, all right.
There's a
piece of me no one can see. I won't ever let it out. Want to breathe, want to believe this life will turn around. Thrown a mind, it's been too long. I gotta let my head down. Give it one go, this is all I know. Nobody's gonna hold me back. I'm gonna give it one try, kiss these fears goodbye. Give it everything I have, with all I have. Don't hold back. Ooh. I know this road will test my soul. At times could hide the lights, but if I stay, if I hide away, how could I fight the fight with all I have? Don't hold back, don't hold back. Ooh. And give it one go, this is all I know. Nobody's gonna hold me back. I'm gonna give it one try, kiss these fears goodbye. Give it everything I have. And give it one go, this is all I know. Nobody's gonna hold me back. I'm gonna give it one try, kiss these fears goodbye. Give it everything I have, with all I have. Don't hold back, don't hold back. And don't hold back.
Nice harmonies going there. You guys blend well.
Thank you.
Very nice. And nice chapping into your feminine side there, Nate.
I don't know if it, like as I sing it sometimes I'm
wanted to
like
let
I don't know
his hair
if this
down,
is
like-
feminine or not. Yeah, letting your hair down. I guess that was like
There
the
you go.
biggest moment where it was like I don't know too many guys that say, "Hey, let me let my hair down."
Well, let's talk about, you mentioned, the ups and downs, the roller coaster, of course.
Yeah.
You were on American Idol.
I was on American
Two
Idol.
times, though. That's the weird
Yes.
part. Okay, well,
Yeah,
we've got to
so
hear this experience.
The
about
first
you.
time I was a part of it, it was when they had the Detroit auditions
Okay.
at Ford Field.
Yeah.
And I went through the big long line, stood in the crowd for a couple days, and I made it past that. And then there was a few other rounds, and then you go to the judges. And I thankfully was able to get my ticket to Hollywood that year. Two of the judges said yes, but one said no. But he said to just work on a couple things, to feel like my stage is, or the stage is more like a home base kind of thing. And then that year I was able to make it to the end of Hollywood Week, which is like right before the live shows. And then I did it the following year and did the bus tour in Ohio. And then that took me to Kansas City. And then that took me to California.
Oh, my goodness.
But that year I ended at the Lines of 10. So it was still early on in Hollywood Week, but it was a amazing experience. And once you like just get to Hollywood Week, everybody is a great singer. Everyone's a big fish in the
of
pond.
course, yeah.
So I was thankful for the experience, thankful for everybody that I met through it. I still talk to some people that I met through the competition, but it helped me. Like, was still kind of young and new to the music world
Mm-hmm.
when I started my first time with American Idol. But it just kind of helped me grow and shape me a little bit. I think I needed the knocking around a little bit just to toughen me up in this music world.
Yeah, because it is tough. You know,
Yeah, yes.
So would you, at this point in your life, would you go do something different, you know, with that experience? Do you think?
Like try out again, maybe, or
Well, something that you did on those first two times is through your auditions or whatever. Was there something?
probably because I was still new to the whole putting myself out there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little more comfortable now, but I still have some reservations. But I was really shy, kind of. So I
Okay.
just probably just need to be more myself and just be like, hey, there's a camera. I'm gonna go talk in front of it and just put myself out there more.
And so I met Taylor like 5 years ago, which was right after her first. You may have actually been doing Hollywood Week while we were
Yeah, I
while
think
we were
so.
that
Yep.
first time, and like Taylor on stage was always just like very like straight and like structured movements, and you know it was just like hey, say something in the mic, Taylor, and she'd be like, no,
I'd be
you
like,
say something in
I
the
was
mic,
like,
you say something in the
Don't
mic.
make me.
So like, and to watch like what has happened in 5 years, you know, alone is
Yeah.
great. So
Yeah. So.
Well, that's got to be intimidating. You know, just
yes.
these people. Who were the judges at like the first time?
Jennifer Lopez, Harry Connick Jr., and Keith Urban, and they were the judges both times. That I
Oh,
went.
okay.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. So just the fact that, you know,
Right.
these people could hear you sing, that had to be.
I mean,
I'd be scared.
I loved Jennifer Lopez.
Uh-huh.
Growing up, I watched Selena all the time and pretend to be Selena.
Oh.
So then singing in front of Jennifer Lopez, I was like, oh my gosh, is this really happening?
Yeah.
It was an amazing experience.
I feel like singing in front of like 3 really talented singers.
Oh my
like
gosh.
I mean, Simon Cowell is who Simon Cowell is, but like singing in front of Simon, I feel like would have been easier than singing in front of someone who actually like you looked up to, you know, like music wise.
Yeah, those are 3 huge names. Huge names. So yeah, that would be a little intimidating. I would
Yes,
imagine
a little
yeah.
bit, but
Just yeah. And you were young, like you said. Yeah, that had to be just overwhelming and
yes.
Oh my gosh,
Like
yeah.
a lot of emotions where it'd be like, oh my gosh, I made it to Hollywood Week. And then now I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I going to sing in Hollywood Week?
that's the other thing that because that you hear the judges, you know, not just that show, but many of those singing shows that they say the song you pick is really
Very
important.
important.
And how do you go about figuring out what song will be the best one?
I just kind of went on gut feeling
Okay.
a little bit of where, because sometimes I hear songs, I'm like, wow, that just really resonates with me. I feel like that's the song.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it worked in my favor, and then other times it was like, all right, not this time. But yeah, it just kind of is more of a feeling of
Okay.
how I feel when I'm singing it, when I'm listening to it, and just, yeah.
What did you sing for your audition?
Oh my goodness. I sang a few of them. The first year I sang at Ford Field, I sang Walking After Midnight by Patsy Cline.
Okay.
And then I
Oh.
sang Landslide for the celebrity judges.
Okay.
And I also I sat on the floor the first year and did the cup song, and actually did it with a red solo cup.
I think
But
I
it
read-
was-
yeah.
It was
Okay,
different. It was
yeah.
from that movie Pitch Perfect.
Yes.
But yes, I did that. So I was like, see, that's different for me. I don't sit on the floor and play a cup for people.
in your bedroom. Like at home in my bedroom, I do, but not
Right.
Yeah. In your guitar case is a solo cup. Yeah.
Yes. And honestly, I can't even remember what I sang the second year, but it was. I know it was a song that I just felt in my spirit that I should have just sang it.
Well, you have to. If you don't the song doesn't resonate with you, it's not
Right.
going to come across, when you're singing it. So
Right.
emotionally certain.
yeah. If you got to get into the song, and you can, when someone sings the same song and someone is just singing the words and singing the tune, as opposed to someone who's really feeling it. I mean, that's a world of difference.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh
You
wow.
can tell. You can definitely tell.
Got a great experience for you.
Yes, I'm
So-
so thankful for it.
The second time they invited you back.
They did.
That was there you go.
They did.
Hello.
So that was. So I got to actually. So when I went to the bus tour, there was a long line, and I was able to kind of just like hop it a little bit. So that was really cool. But I still, after that point, it was still, I had to go through everything else, the same other auditions, because before you reach the celebrity judges, there's like 4 or 5
Mhm.
different auditions prior to that.
Right.
So even just the emotional part of that too, and then you get to the celebrity judges, and it's like do or die kind of thing, and then you make it to Hollywood Week, and it's really cool. In Hollywood Week, except for the first round, there's a list of songs that you have to choose from.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
So, inside scoop.
Oh, that's interesting. Hopefully, that's something that you know and love. You know.
But yeah, you have to hope.
There was a lot of Megadeth on there.
Yeah.
There was a lot of
Exactly. That's
Oh,
exactly
interesting.
it.
Yeah, well, I didn't realize that. Oh, very interesting. And then if you don't know any of the songs on the list, you're in trouble, right?
You have to learn it and hope you remember the words.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations on that.
Oh,
so,
thank you.
you know, would they invite you back for a third time?
I have no idea. I mean, they might, maybe in the future. It's kind of, I'm like, right now, I don't feel like I need to do a competition like that. I'm
Okay.
not saying I never will.
Yeah, right.
But I'm kind of happy with what I'm doing right now.
Well, you've got the experience from that. You know, you've learned a lot from that.
yes.
You know, that would, in itself, will help your career
Mm-hmm.
down the line. So, you never did anything like that, did you, Nate?
I tried out, and they've always said no. No, not a chance, Nate.
No, I just oh, you never know.
You never know.
Never know. Yeah.
We do like different competitions and stuff every once in a while. We'll
Yeah.
submit videos. Now it's just easier to submit a video
Yeah.
because it's like we went to Indianapolis for The Voice to try out as a duo
Okay.
last year, 2 years ago, maybe now.
Yeah.
It's been a little while. But like you go down there and like it's a lot of time, and like I know you got to kind of cut your teeth and put your time into this thing, you know. But we gave up like a gig weekend, you know, to like go down there and do it, and then you're kind of just standing there in
Then you get like 20 seconds. to
0
sing.
degrees. It was 0 degrees outside. We were there for like 4 hours outside trying to like just stay warm, and then once we got there, they're like, oh, by the way, you don't get a minute, you get one chorus or something like that. We're like, what can we do in a
What?
chorus? Like,
Are
so
you serious?
And,
Yeah,
then,
so-
we're like on the side, like, you gotta sing this part, I'm gonna sing that part. Like,
that was definitely like, it was kind of a letdown to be like we just took like a whole weekend of like of what we do of our career, you know,
Yeah,
to come down
yeah,
here to do this, and you gave us 20 seconds. That's not. So
Right.
now we just send a video.
Yeah, but sometimes it's just
if you like it, you like it.
right. Sometimes it's just like that. Well, maybe this one time, some the right person will be there, and then it's
Yeah,
gonna be our year. So that's the kind of like the push to go and even do competitions
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah,
The what if?
hard work just pays off a lot more. I feel like even if you were to win one of those competitions, and that's great for you, but if you haven't put the work in before that, you probably aren't going to be able to be very
Yeah.
successful unless you have the right team with you. Because you don't know what it's like. The same way, if Taylor would have been there 4 years ago, 5 years ago, after the experience, she'd been like, what do I do now? You know,
Right.
like,
Yeah.
really. So
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of
you
sense.
have to put that
Yeah.
effort in, you know,
Yeah.
before.
You know, I mean, there's so many, especially younger kids. It's like, ooh, I'm going to be famous. I'm going to sing, you know, just
Yeah.
because, you know, they had the little, you know, Fisher Price
Yeah.
recorder thing in their
Yeah.
hand, you know. So there's a lot more to it. Yeah, obviously. So, all right. How about we hear
or
another
a brush,
song?
a hairbrush.
Oh,
maybe.
a hairbrush. Yeah, exactly.
So this song is called Sober.
Okay.
And we're working on it in the studio right now. It's about 80% done, I would say, probably, in the studio. But we have some more tweaks that we want to make to it. It's pretty much just about being sober. I've gone through, you know, abuse of alcohol, and you know, I guess on the other end of it, you start to kind of look back and be like, yeah, that was a little dumb. So if you have a problem with using substances, it's you know, it's kind of hard to see yourself on the other side of it. The song's called Sober.
Okay.
Lately I've had too much time on my hands. That can do a whole lot of damage to a man. Oh, when I get to drinking, I just stop thinking. Round and round I spin. If I could hit the rewind on our timeline, I wouldn't lose you again. And I like thinking about you when I'm sober. Every time I get to drinking, I don't remember all of the good times that we've had, and how you have made me a better man. And I like thinking about you when I'm sober, when I'm sober.
time I get to drinking, I don't remember all of the good times that we've had and how you become a better man. I like thinking about you when I'm sober, when I'm sober. Ooh. So pour up around those memories, swallow it down to mama's sweet tea. Raise up a glass to toast you and me. There's something about a memory, something about a memory, something about a memory. Hey, I like thinking about you when I'm sober. 'Cause every time I get to drinking, I don't remember all of the good times that we've had and how you become a better man. And I like thinking about you when I'm sober, when I'm sober. When I'm sober.
So,
Yeah.
I'll put the coffee on. Sober up, y'all.
Great song.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And the little laugh at the end. I love that.
Sometimes like it's just funny. We've been messing around like all these little statements that you can make at the
Yeah.
end of songs, and like they're just fun.
He
to
says
throw
something
in.
different every time.
does he?
Yes. That's why I get a little giggle in probably every
I've kind
time.
of like started to settle in on what's gonna actually be said, but like
Yeah.
in the studio it was kind of silly. It was just like, hey, let the end of that play out, and let's just start saying a bunch of things. So
That's interesting. So as you're playing, you're thinking of it, or you already know what you're going to say at the end of it?
I don't know. Well, it depends sometimes. I do a lot of like improv on stage, especially like live show. We have a lot of improv, and that's mostly because like I just mess up something, and then we gotta make it work. But no, there's a lot of improv where it's just like I don't know what's gonna happen here, like what notes we're gonna do, or so.
Okay.
And sometimes we'll both decide to improv at the same time.
That's always fun.
And it's hilarious because whenever that happens, it just so happens to like fit
Blend.
perfectly together. I'm like, wow, this is weird. And then
Yeah.
we'll both do something different and then look at each other and be like, that was actually kind of good. Don't forget what you did. Like,
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
yes.
Yeah, it's like why did we both decide at that part of the chorus to do what we just did?
Yep.
You know, like so it's fun.
Interesting how you just kind of feed off each other. And,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's, I mean, we obviously practice and rehearse what we do. It's not, the whole thing isn't
Right.
improv, but
Right.
it's just when
Right.
those moments do happen, you know. So
They're special moments.
yeah, they're
Yes.
fun.
Yes.
They're very fun. You know,
Yeah.
they're very chemistry, you know, chemically, chemically, chemistry.
I'll help you out here with a question. So,
Thanks, appreciate it.
so you guys are as a duo, and you've been together since, going on 5 years almost. So how did you guys connect initially?
So we connected first. So when we were a trio, Oscar was a part of it, but Oscar and I connected first.
Okay.
And it was an event, a Relay for Life, like kind of like mini concert that I was doing because of American Idol. So I had contacted Oscar. I had met him through another competition in the past and asked him if he wanted to help me with this
Okay.
mini concert. And then he was telling me after the fact about this open mic that Nate does in downtown Trenton. And when we went, that's where we met Nate, and it just kind of
Yeah.
grew from there.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I host an open mic on Thursdays in downtown Trenton, and it's been going for 5 years. It was actually the first year that I had started. It was when I met Oscar and Taylor, and Barry, and all these great people that come out to the open mic. There's just so much talent, like really down there. But my buddy Barry was like, "Hey, I just played this gig with this like really great vocalist. She makes me do things I normally wouldn't do with the bass," and so he brought Taylor and Oscar out, and then the venue owner was like, "Hey," or the venue the manager. He came out. He was like, "Hey, come on, do a gig for us." And they were like, "We don't have 3 hours of material," and they wanted all cover songs in 3 hours. So I'm sitting at an open mic somewhere. I like open mics. I go to them because they're fun. Like it's a great place to meet people. Like it's a great place to experience new music. And I'm sitting there and I'm watching this duo, They're from the local area, and I was like, man, it'd be really fun to work with other musicians. And I'm like, while I'm sitting at this place on a Monday night, and I look down and I get a text, and it's from Oscar, and he's like, hey, Taylor and I were wondering if you would want to, come play some songs with us and help fill up the 3 hours. And I was like, yes, immediately. Like how is this possible? It almost felt like godsend. So it was cool. It was really cool.
Perfect. Yeah. And you guys really did covers for quite a while, right?
Yeah, and we
Yes.
still do. I mean, most of our weekend gigs are a lot of cover music, and
Yeah,
we'll
then
throw
we-
our originals in. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's a good way to hone your skills.
Yes.
Cover other people's
and
songs.
you can learn different styles and genres, and that's what's really cool about it.
Yeah.
That's why we had a hard time labeling our genre
Yeah.
of what we liked or what we categorize in.
Yeah, because we played
because we sing a lot of different things and we like to do them all.
Mhm.
Johnny Cash and Bill Withers
Yeah.
and Meghan Trainor
Yeah.
and and all these like people, and it's like, well, they're all very different categories, but
Well, you're going to be someone in the crowd's going to like whatever you
yeah,
play. That's always
someone's also
important.
probably not gonna like it too. That happens every once in a while.
Well, but if you mix it up enough with all the different genres,
Yes.
Yeah.
then you should be safe, right? Okay.
And doing it acoustic, it makes it easy too, because you don't have to necessarily have the same soul feel as a soul song with acoustic, or the same country feel if you don't want to. It's
Oh, okay.
usually one or two instruments, and you can change it how we want.
Yeah.
Like we do a version of Ed Sheeran, and it's like it used to be like this nice, soft, beautiful love song, and we turned it into like this like
A really
Irish
fast,
folk,
yeah.
Irish folk like style song, so we can do what we want with it too.
Interesting.
So some people might like it though. There's like that. We don't know.
Well, you're taking liberties with it,
Yeah.
and which makes it probably fun for you guys too.
Mhm.
Do you change it up all the time or just
No, not all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, just
only
here
when
and
we actually we couldn't figure out how to play that song in the right way. So like one day I just started strumming really fast, and she's like, "Yeah, let's do that." So it just happens.
Yeah, in the meantime, Ed finds his songs like, what did they do?
Yeah, well, that's what
Yes.
we call. Yeah, we've renamed it so that.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. Well, so yeah, and at what point, because you were doing covers mostly in the beginnings, at what
Mhm.
point did you okay, we really need to write our own stuff? Was there something that
It's probably
I think I've really always been pushing to write our own stuff,
Yeah.
just
Okay.
because I think there's great bands out there that do covers, and there's a lot of like YouTube recognition and social media recognition for cover songs, so it's easy, and then all these movies that are coming out with other people's music in them with people singing, and so like you can do something as a cover artist, but I really feel like to make it and feel good about what you're doing, you need to create it yourself. So I've kind of really always wanted to push for that.
Yeah, but I think it became more of us maybe like a year and a half, 2 years into the
Yeah.
project or into Athens Creek, and then especially more in the last year, a lot more emphasis on writing and
Mhm.
creating our own music.
Yeah. Just getting more out of this career and more out
Well,
of the
yeah,
industry,
that's- I would say that, I mean, you can only cover songs for so long, and then, that makes you not, a
Mhm.
good cover band,
Yeah.
it's
Yes.
basically. But
Right.
to put your own creative, do your own creative pieces, that's got to be a better feeling than, okay, we're going to go play, here's another Ed Sheeran song or whatever.
Yeah,
Yes.
right.
Yeah, you need that as an artist. That's the only way to grow, I think.
And it's fulfilling too, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
it is really good at the end of a show, and you played a bunch of other people's music, and people come up and they tell you, hey, you did a good job, or you did that better than the original, or like that's also fulfilling, but not in the same way. Like you
Yeah.
really do need to create something on your own, especially as an artist. Like
Yeah.
it's
Absolutely. You've got to be able to, feel good at when you put your head on the pillow. Is like, yeah, I was creative today. Something I did from, whatever. Okay. I'm not a-
Definitely.
I heard about this.
You did the Pam exam.
Well, I've only heard the name of it and the concept. I'm like, oh man, I'm kind of nervous for the PAN exam.
Yeah, I told. Well, may have mentioned that you do the PAM exam, and Taylor goes, wait a minute, like, and I just saw like all of a sudden there was chaos in your head, like, what are the answers going to be? What are the questions going to be? I don't know what this is going to be.
Well, I never want anyone to feel like that, panic because of the Pam exam. No.
It's very funny to me to watch it. You can see her eyes just start doing this thing. She's like,
Oh, that's funny. Really, this is not that. I would never put you. And if it's something you just can't answer, then don't answer.
Okay,
I
I'll say
cannot
pass.
answer that question. I'm sorry.
And there's two of you, so that makes it a little easier. Okay, like this, easy, because we're in Detroit, of course. I've got to ask: Fago, Verner's, or Town Club?
Oh. Okay, I'll say Werner's.
Yeah, Werner's 100%. Like I love Faygo, they're great, but the Werner's is by far my favorite like go-to beverage.
Yeah. Love the Werners. Okay, fill in the blank. I wish I could.
I wish I could play the violin.
Oh.
I wish I could do like parkour or base jumping. Like it seems really fun. Like I would love to do something like that. Like learn how to flip over buildings and like run and jump across gas. That sounds cool. I wish I could do that. There we go.
I mean, it sounds pretty cool.
What? When you said that, it was like, I didn't know what you meant.
Oh, parkour! Like parkour is like when like people like run up to a building and then they just do like a flip.
Oh,
off
they
of
run
it.
their feet up and
Yeah,
flip
and
over.
like-
Okay,
and like
I
they-
didn't
or
know
they,
there
like-
was a term for that.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's-
I didn't
it's-
either. I'm learning something new today.
Yeah, like, I wish I could do it. Like I always like as a kid would want to like do that kind of stuff, run around. But people make like a career out of it.
Yes.
It's cool.
And it looks cool. It's like, there's no way I would ever do something like that. But okay, so parkour.
Parkour, yeah.
Parkour.
And what's
Okay.
even better is when they fall, because then you get really cool YouTube videos of like 50 people falling.
The only thing I can imagine is Nate trying to do this and getting stuck, like with his feet higher up, and him just falling on his head. And don't do
that
it, please.
Yeah.
I won't. That's why I said I
Don't
wish
hurt,
I could.
don't want to hurt the head. All those creative juices. We don't want to lose that.
They'd be flowing out.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, and I learned something. See, my PAM exam, I learned something today. Thank you, Nate. I appreciate that. All right. Is there a quote you live your life by or think of often?
Yeah.
I'll let you answer that one.
So Jack Kerouac's one of my favorite writers, and he said, "Great things are not accomplished by people who yield to trends and or popular opinions or fads." I think something along there. Sorry, Jack, paraphrased it, but it's a great concept. Like if you're always doing what everybody else is doing, you're not creating something new.
Mm-hmm.
And you might not be able to create something brand new, but at least give it a spin. Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I don't really have a quote that I live by. So I'll say pass.
She took a pass card. Her lifeline. There's one. Okay. Best kept secret in Metro Detroit. That could be of anything.
Best kept secret. Like, is like a restaurant or like
anything.
anything? I don't know.
You got to answer this one.
I know, but I'm trying to think of the best kept secret.
Well, you both are so young. You probably haven't, been around the block enough to maybe. I don't know. No?
I don't think they're like they're not even really a secret, but like there's two things that I would think are some of the best, the isolated little
Okay.
spots. Thomas McGee's Sports House over in Eastern Market. They're awesome. They're like you can literally go there and watch any game that you want. Like if you want to watch a soccer match, you go there and like watch a
Wow.
soccer match. Like it's a really cool little spot and it's nice. You can get
Okay.
good whiskey. And then the place where we actually met, TV's Grand Event, which is down in Trenton.
I would definitely.
Like it's
say
awesome.
that
Like you're
place.
down, it's this cool old hotel downriver, and they have like the original brass rail on the
On
down
in
at the bar, and
yeah.
then it's just cool. Cool people, cool ambiance. Like
Cool vibe.
yeah, and
Yes.
they're
It's
not they're not necessarily like secret places, but not a lot of people know about them.
Yeah,
they're
I mean, a
really
lot
cool
of
spots.
I feel like downriver people know about TV's Grand Event, but not many people maybe this
Yeah,
way. But
right.
I think honestly, I think it's worth the drive. Their food is great.
Yeah, I don't
And then
get
they all-
downriver, so I don't
Yeah,
know
and
that.
they always have live music on the weekends,
Ah.
which is awesome.
That is awesome. I love that. Have you guys played there? You guys,
Yes.
Okay.
We
Yeah,
actually
we
just played there this
Friday,
past Friday.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, good. Favorite food and beverage of choice?
Werner's.
Back to the Werners.
Beverage of choice. A lot of people would probably say coffee, but I'm a tea drinker,
Okay.
so that's my
I love
beverage
tea.
of choice.
Yeah, food wise, like pizza is probably my number one like, food of all. You can put anything on it. I don't care what you put on it. Like pizza, 100%.
I like Mexican food.
Ah.
Mexican food's
That's
probably-
number 2, but tied with Mediterranean food.
Ooh, that's probably.
It
ooh,
must be getting
very
close to lunchtime.
Yeah, like, wait a minute. Ooh.
Most memorable music moment?
Can we tell about the most recent one?
Yeah.
Because that's like my probably most memorable moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love how he
Yeah.
checks with
Yeah.
her first.
Well, because like we're in the process of talking with this family out in New York, and we have a version of House of the Rising Sun with Amazing Grace that we put up on YouTube, and it has quite a few views. And we get a lot of comments, and people tell us about how good it is. But they have a sibling who is, I can't even say it, but
Very sick.
very
Okay.
sick. He has a terminal disease,
Oh.
and they want to do a celebration of life before he passes. And it was really like it's emotional for me. They asked us to come out and play at this celebration of life,
Oh, wow.
and this guy played music before, and he sang. And so that honestly, I mean, this is very recent for
Wow.
us,
Yeah.
but it's
And he said
probably
those,
one of my best moments.
Yeah,
like,
he said those 2 songs were his all-time favorite songs and would play
that-
them all the time.
yeah, he loves the song. You know, they cry every time they hear it, and you know, it's like this is why we do music. You know, in order to
Yes.
have
Yeah.
moments like this. And, you know, I feel bad for them in their situation, certainly. You know, but to know that we had some kind of impact on someone's life is huge.
So they must have found you through
YouTube.
YouTube. Oh.
Yeah, and his sister was the one who messaged us. And we were actually together when we got the message, and I started to read just the second line, and I was like, Nate, I don't think I could go any farther. And he was like, why? And then he started to walk away. And I was like, why are you walking away? And he's like, I just can't contain my emotions right now. So
Wow. Well, I get
But-
Yeah,
goosebumps.
it's a lot, you know. But
Wow.
to experience that with music feels so good. You know,
Yeah.
like to know that you actually are impacting lives. You know,
You know, bottom line, isn't that kind of what it's about? You know,
it really is.
Yes.
You know, and that's why I play music.
Right. And that we said we would do it in a heartbeat because, like he said, it's the reason why we
Yes.
are doing music and doing this for every day
Yeah.
Yeah.
to touch people's lives.
Ah. Oh, that's a good musical moment. When,
Yeah,
when
it-
is this happening?
We'll be because of his illness. That's going to be here in the next
Okay.
month or so.
Yeah.
We've had to try to move things around, but it'll be at the end of April.
Okay. Okay. Wow. Wow. That's intense. I don't like this one. See, I can put them back too.
Yeah, Pam gets a pass. I love it.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
To transport in an instant.
I like that.
Anywhere.
I would be invincible, so I could do parkour from the top of the
Oh,
building.
yeah.
There you go. I just got a vision of the show Heroes. Remember the
Oh,
cheerleader?
yeah.
She did.
Mhm. Yeah, that's amazing. I would do that. I would actually probably wear the cheerleader outfit
Oh.
for the fun of it too.
Oh, Nate.
Just wait for that video. I'm sure you'll see it one day.
Well, if I ever get invincibility, it'd be cool.
Oh my gosh. If you could have any one person in your band, dead or alive, who would it be? Collaborate or be in your band?
There's a lot of people I'd love to collaborate with.
Mine's Johnny Cash by far.
Yeah.
I love Johnny Cash.
I'd probably say Stevie Nicks. I like Stevie Nicks. But I mean, even like current artists, like every time I hear Josh Turner's voice, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'd love to be on a song with him. Like, just there's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Baby.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Johnny Cash is a good one.
I love. He's by far my favorite artist. You know, just the story, the music, the history behind it. I mean, he's just great, and the attitude too. Like, I love the attitude.
Well, I grew up listening. That my dad was a huge fan, so grew up listening to Johnny Cash all the time. And my dad actually met him,
Nice.
luckily, and he actually got in his house because he had a friend who had the same name as a popular country singer, and the guard let them both in.
That's amazing.
And they went into his house,
That
sat
is
there,
awesome.
and the guy picked up his guitar, and he walked in and was like, "Who are you? And what the hell are you doing in my house?" Kind of thing.
I'm this famous country singer. He's waiting in your
Yeah.
waiting in your living room. And he gets
Exactly.
there, and it's just two randoms. That's amazing.
Oh, very strange. Okay. Do you have a ritual before a performance?
I take a deep breath
Mm.
and I let it out very slowly because no matter the performance, no matter how many times I've performed in front of people, I always get nervous. Always get nervous. And I say a little prayer every time too.
You still to this day? Is it
Yeah.
still okay?
To this day, and it can be like a little thing even for my mom and dad. And I'm like, they're judging me. Like,
Mom and Dad are judging
Yeah.
me.
Taylor.
no, they're
Oh, that's fun.
no, but I get nervous all the time, but I try to. My grandpa always tells me, or had told me in the past, and kind of just stuck with me. It's good to have butterflies, just have them flying in formation. So I
like
kind
that.
of live by that. Well, I guess that's my
There
my
you go.
quote.
She-
There you go. I kind of live by that.
I live by that.
It
Nice.
took you a few questions later,
Yeah.
but you answered it.
Came
Yeah.
to mind.
That's a good one. Yeah, yeah. If you don't have if you don't have the butterflies, then it's like you just become complacent. It's like, oh well, no, they're just go up there, do my
Yep.
thing, and be done, and get paid, that kind of thing. But
Mhm.
when you've got the butterflies, okay, this is
This is what I
one-
want to do.
Yes, 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 yes. Oh, I like that from your grandfather. Yeah. Do you have a quirk or a pet peeve?
People not using their blinker when driving. Oh my gosh, it makes me so mad. It's like they just cut off and cut this way, and it makes me so frustrated.
I mean, I probably have a lot of pet peeves, but I'm trying to remember one at the moment. They don't come to mind until I see it, and I'm like, yeah, that's
That
that's
irritates
one of
me. Yeah.
them.
It's not being able to think of my pet peeve.
Yes.
Oh, funny. All right, I'm just gonna. What puts you in your happy place?
Puts me in my happy place. I like vacationing. That always makes me happy, and being in the sun and on the beach, and kind of just listening to the waves. Maybe a little soft music on the side.
Does that inspire you to write music when you're in those situations?
I definitely, when I'm on vacation, I go for the notebook more because I just escape from the
Mhm.
busyness
Mhm.
of work and house and everything, and that's the only thing I have to focus on or can focus on.
Yeah.
So
I write better when I'm sad. So, like, even being sad, like I've been telling this story recently. I watched a really sad movie, and at the end, like I was in such like a sad place, like just physically sad, that I wrote like one of the happiest songs I've ever written because I was like, I need to get myself out of this, and so like even being sad can help me write like emotionally from a different place.
Interesting.
I just like to laugh. Like sometimes I'll just like if I'm like feeling not good and I need to be in a happy place, I'll just start like smiling like really big, and then like start trying to laugh. Like, and even if forced, like sometimes it just changes the whole mood immediately. Like
Yeah.
you can just feel it.
So when you're feeling like like a writer's block or something, it's like throw in Old Yeller or whatever, and then
Yeah.
you've got a hit going, right?
there you go.
That's,
Or
that's
watch
too
that-
sad. That's
Or watch that movie that you just
Yeah,
watched.
no.
So just watch it again.
Oh my gosh, interesting. So do you feel like some of your best songs written were when you were in that situation?
I think so. Yeah, really. Like, I think a lot of my songs, I mean, and it's whatever rock or country or however you want to put it, they're from like a sad place. A lot of them are from
That
like,
is true.
like my girlfriend left me or my wife left me or my dog died or whatever, whatever it is. Like it really is from those places that some of the best stuff is
Yeah,
written.
yeah.
So yeah, I would say some of it.
Okay, very good. Now it's time to hear another song. No more
Okay.
questions. You're done with the questions.
Whew, did we
There's
pass?
You passed,
Did
yeah.
we pass?
No, there's no passing or failing with this Pam exam.
Well, there was one pass.
Oh,
Two
yeah.
passes,
yeah,
actually.
that's-
No, two passes.
Well, she
I
came
made
back
up
and
for my
answered it.
pass.
Yeah, she came back and answered. So
So this next song is a song called "The Hole," and we
Okay.
actually just this past November put it out on iTunes and Spotify and all the music avenues. But do you want to explain it?
Yeah, so this song comes from a very personal place with my battle with alcoholism or my battle with abuse of it, and I was in Memphis and I took my sister to Graceland for her 18th birthday, and we went to go see the mansion with where Elvis Presley lived, and Elvis really got he was already using substances before, but when his mother passed away, he started using a lot, and ultimately that's what led to him led to his death. So I kind of wrote this song. I had my baby sister had passed on, and I felt the same way. I'd used alcohol to avoid that situation. I used substance to kind of get myself away from that, and so I just kind of used that personal experience along with what I was thinking about Elvis at the time to write this song. It's called "The Hole." It's about sometimes you dig yourself a little too deep and you need some help out. Well, I never thought that this would be the place that I would ever find me staring at the bottom of another glass of whiskey. Those empty cans in my recycle bin, yeah, they'd sure pair nice with a fifth of gin. Keep digging deep, boys, fill it then. This liquid spirit makes leather skin. You left a hole in my heart when you left. You left a hole in my heart when you left. You left a hole in my heart when you left. You left a hole. You left a hole. You left a hole in my heart when you left. You left a hole in my heart when you left. You left a hole in my heart when you left. You left a hole. You left a hole. The sun is down, time to turn it up. My liquid diet ain't drying up. Muddy waters fill my liver. I try to stop and I start to quiver. Turn up the music, set cycle to spin. I feel the darkness closing in. Line on up, another round. Bottoms up, boys, drink 'em down. And you left a hole in my heart when you left. You left a hole in my heart when you left. You left a hole in my heart when you left. You left a hole. You left a hole, you left a hole in my heart when you left. You left a hole in my heart when you left. You left a hole in my heart when you left. You left a hole, you left a hole. Lord have mercy on my soul. Fill me up, make me whole. If I can't stop this rock and roll, 6 feet down they'll dig my hole. And you left a hole in my heart when you left. You left a hole in my heart when you left. You left a hole in my heart when you left. You left a hole. You left a hole. You left a hole in my heart when you left. You left a hole in my heart when you left. You left a hole in my heart when you left. You left a hole. You left a hole. Lord have mercy on my soul. Fill me up, make me whole. If I can't stop this rock and roll, 6 feet down they'll dig my hole. Well, you left a hole in my heart when you left. You left a hole. You left a hole. You left a hole in my heart when you left. You left a hole. You left a hole.
Athens Creek. Whew, heavy. You know, sometimes you got to be in a situation to come up with a song, you know,
Yes,
in that
absolutely.
situation. Well, this has been fun. Want to make sure everybody knows where to find you, get your music, follow you wherever you're going to be playing and all of that. What's the best way to do that?
So we post a lot on our Facebook and Instagram, but we have just actually recently released our new website. So at athenscreekmusic.com, they'll be able to see all our upcoming shows and things like that just by that link.
Yeah, there's a tour tab at the website. You can just go there. We keep it fairly updated, and we have shows all the way out until like November right now on there.
Wow.
I think something that's scheduled.
Wow.
So we'll have some.
That's
We
impressive.
try to be on top of it.
Yeah, so-
I think you are. November. Oh my gosh, we're just getting spring, and you're thinking winter
And I know, I'm
time.
thinking
already.
It is
fall
really
already.
hard for us. Like it's like you always have to be thinking 6 months to a year ahead at least in this industry, if not longer.
Yeah.
You know, and so sometimes it's like I don't want to be thinking about next winter already. Like,
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, good for you that you've got something in the books. So
Mhm.
you know that's a whole goal of musicians.
Yes.
Keep playing somewhere and getting paid for it. You know, if you can do that. So well, good for you.
there's music. We also have music on like iTunes and
Okay.
Spotify and we don't have anything on terrestrial radio besides this right now.
Okay.
I mean, but so
Yeah.
all the streaming services and all that. You just search Athens Creek and you'll find us. And
Okay.
we have some cover music up there. That last song, The Hole, is we have that available as well. So
Because do you guys have a CD out yet?
not
No.
yet. We're
Okay.
working on it. Yeah,
Okay.
that's what we're doing in the studio right now. We have
Okay.
4 songs still in studio that we're working on, and we just finished 2 more. So we're kind of trying to figure out when we're going to actually release an album, but we'll be releasing those songs along the way.
Yep.
Okay. Going for an EP or full album?
That's the question.
That's the question of the day. Huh? Okay.
Yeah, everybody says like do singles and then an EP, but like really like I feel like when I see someone like successfully doing it as an artist, like they release an album. Like you don't see like successful like musicians doing like singles and EPs. Some singles maybe, but we'd really like to do an album and finish that up. So.
I agree with you. I think it's okay to tease and offer a little bit, but to every song that you do to just throw it out there. Just to me that doesn't seem the right way to go for a musician. I'm not a musician, but I see the different artists and how it works and stuff. So to me that just doesn't seem the right way to do it. But
and the whole purpose behind it is to make sure that people can still see you, make sure that you're relevant. If you're posting something every month or every 2 months, then like people keep noticing you. But really, I would be really happy if we got one good album and we were like, that's all we did. But we had one really good album.
Yeah.
Well, on that note. To me, and I always like to make sure I know that I'm not telling you this is how it should be done, but when I see yes, that is so true. You've got to be out in front of the people. You can't just wither away because people forget about you.
Right.
I mean, our attention spans have gotten smaller and smaller, but it's like the teases. The tease is all about keeping people informed. So like you two, a little snippet of in the studio, or a photo of you, doing something, posing for the photo that's going to be on your upcoming album.
Right.
Those kinds of things still put you in front of everybody, and people aren't forgetting who you are, and that gives them more gets them going and get more excited. Like, ooh, this is coming sooner
This
than
album's gonna be really good,
I mean, that's what that's my opinion, but take it or leave it. But that's what I think. That's you definitely can't. I don't mean, that just because you got to be out in front of them, you throw your song out there every single time. That doesn't make any sense to me, but there's my 2 cents.
Well, I appreciate it.
We love it.
Yeah.
We love it.
So, all right. Well, it has been a pleasure again. Thank you so much for coming out.
Thank you
for
again
having
for
us.
having us.
Really, you guys sound great, and you've got the songwriting. I love it. The 3 we've heard today, I love all of them. There's some good
Thank you.
songwriting. So I appreciate that. So again, find them. Their new website, AthensCreekMusic.com.
Yep.
It's a place to go, and we look forward to when that new album does come out, guys. So
We do as well.
Yes.
it'll be coming, and you're booked till November. You're on the right path. So, thanks to all of you out there for watching. Do appreciate that for another edition of our Behind the Mic here in the beautiful MusicTown studios on the 2nd floor of Hockeytown in downtown Detroit. Until next time, I'm Pam Rossi. Have a great week.